Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this June 25th version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. We're glad that you are here with us. If you want to find our content, go to EOA.network. EOA.network. That takes you to a link tree where you can find the locations of all of our content, our Facebook and our Roku channel, our website, our Instagram, and follow us. We appreciate you following all of those places, or at least the one that you visit frequently. So this morning here we have two guests, and so in just a minute we're going to have Lori McNeil, who is a friend of mine I've known for a long time, and she is now working for the Chamber of Commerce. And then the second part of the show we're going to have Steve West will be with us here. Steve West has had a show on the Outdoor Channel called Steve's Outdoor Adventures for the last many years, and he'll be talking to us about some of his newest local adventures. So, how are you, man?
Good. It's first Friday.
Yeah.
Get almost to the weekend. It's going to be crappy this weekend, though. It's going to rain.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's kind of good, but it's not good when you like being outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it looks like it's going to turn. Man, there was a ton of activity yesterday. I mean, they had 2 fires. I mean, did you follow everything that was going on yesterday?
Not really. I saw what you posted. I was trying to figure out how you heard about that because there was no press release.
No, what happened was I had just pulled into the alley, and then like five emergency vehicles go by the front of our office. It was an ambulance chaser. It's like,
Oh, wow.
yeah. I mean, I'm not an ambulance chaser, but when it like happens, right? I mean, there was one time there was a car accident, a turned over car. It's like I can see it from where it's at. I can't not, So anyhow, so this is a funny story. So I go up the road. I mean, they're all going up the road, and so then a couple of cop cars. I get to that park. Is it Gandalf Park at the top of the thing?
Oh, yeah, so it overlooks the baseball field.
So I pull out that overlook to let a couple of other emergency vehicles go by me, and then the last sheriff's car pulls over and blocks the road. And so then of course I knew. I mean, we know those guys, and so I asked him what was going on, and so yeah, that's kind of how it. And then the crazy thing is then like 30 minutes later, here they all come back. I mean, all those same vehicles. I guess there was
a fire out at Artie Mac or something.
Yeah, and so yeah, it was a busy day yesterday.
It's the truckers. They have no. You know how many people wreck on that corner?
Yeah,
you figure it out.
Yeah, no. Well, so anyhow, so yeah, there was lots of, but I mean, I think one of the reasons people are a little keyed up is that everything is so dry. I mean, there was I guess, anyhow, it doesn't matter.
No, I mean, I like I said before, I think it needs to burn. As long as nobody gets hurt, let's just let it burn, and let's reset. You know what I mean? If you go up in the mountains, it's a mess up there.
Well, I realize
it's embarrassing.
I realize that, but that's a whole nother. You have people's livelihoods in there.
Like I said, as long as people don't get hurt.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's been mismanaged so bad that we got to do something. I mean, I don't see anybody up there cleaning it up. That's like taking gas and dumping it, on your house.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, right? That's gas all over the mountains. If you go up there, like even just up the 500 road, there's trees down everywhere. There's an overabundance of fuel up there.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep. I know it. And what's funny is that seems normal because we're so used to it. And then you'll come across some managed property that is really well managed,
Yeah, like when I was a kid.
Yeah, and it'll look like a golf course almost because everything is so, anyhow. All right, well, hey, you want to do sports?
Let's do it.
All right.
AM Sports Report brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Real comfort, real sleep, real results. The FlexSteel Z-Cliner is Sleep Score Labs validated to improve how you sleep. See it at Northwest Furniture and Mattress in LeGrand. Sleep like a log. I sat in one of those. Those things are comfortable, and they're made for it's FlexSteel, so it's made for it'll hold I'm a big dude, and it held me just fine. It's a comfortable chair. LeGrand Legacy Legion Baseball is in Walla Walla this weekend for the Walla Walla tournament. The 18U team will be playing, and then on next week on Wednesday, which is July 1st, they host Baker at 5 and at 7:30 right down here at Optimus. I wasn't expecting any more home games, but it looks like we're going to sneak in that Baker game, and then I think one more game the following week. I'll let you guys know as soon as I know for sure. But the younger team will go to Wallowa Valley at a time and location to be determined. So they don't know if they're playing it there in Enterprise, if they're playing it here, but we'll find out. Like I said, I'll let you guys know as soon. Legion's kind of weird. The schedule just kind of develops as the summer goes, as you probably know if you've watched this show for any number of years. Legion's not exactly like, it's not like high school where you get a set schedule and say, this is what you're going to play. Congratulations to all the EOU athletes. They posted an overall GPA of 3.44 this year, which is exceptional. 75% of all the athletes at EOU were academic all-conference, which is another just exceptional number. That's pretty awesome, and so kudos to the admin and coaches and the athletes. Football's right around the corner, so let's take a look at this real fast. Shrine game coming up July 25th. I mean, that's like a month away exactly from today. We'll go live at 6 o'clock. The game kickoff at 7. They do a bunch of stuff before the game. It's pretty exciting. We're starting to get some of the stuff rolling in. I talked to the guy from the Shriners Hospital yesterday, and we'll have a couple of interviews with doctors and PT personnel at Shriners, and they also send them over and they kind of talk at halftime. We'll hook up with the queens and the captains at the night before the game, and we just put out some cool stuff that kind of is bonus material for the game, but it adds a little bit of flavor. It's fun, and it makes the game a little more compelling and exciting. You get to learn more about the players with the player introductions, and it's just cool stuff. That's June 25th, kickoff at 7. The live stream will start at 6. It's pretty exciting. AM Sports Report brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Big Red Rocking Chair on Elm, off Adams in LeGrand.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yep.
All right, let's take a look outside at our weather cam. It's supposed to be a nice, pretty day today. For those of you that might not know, that weather cam is available on our website 24/7 or also on YouTube. All right, let's take a look at that weather graphic, Bennett. So 84 today, and then it's going to be in the 60s for a bit.
For the weekend.
Yeah, and 80% chance of rain Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, but it says brief shower or two, so it's going to rain, but it's not going to rain a ton, which is good.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So just to remind you about some events that are coming up. So the Embler Parade is on July the 4th. That's at noon, and we will be streaming that event. Be sure and don't miss that. That'll be here on our network too, but that's a great parade. The whole community comes out for that, and so that is worth the trip, and it's probably lasts about 30 minutes long. I mean, there's just a lot of participation. And then also, if you're interested in the All-Star football games this weekend, tomorrow day, we'll be streaming games at 2 and at 7. That's up at Community Stadium. And then one on Saturday at 1 o'clock. And those are available via pay-per-view, which at 689allstarfootball.com. So, And then here in just a little bit, we're going to have Lori McNeil with us, and she's going to talk to us about the Chamber of Commerce and the Thunder at the Peak, their 4th of July event that's coming up. So we'll be right back, and she'll be with us.
Eastern Oregon is full of interesting people, with interesting minds and interesting things to say. Here at EO Live, we're committed to connecting you to these intriguing people with EO Talks. We let our special guests share their ideas and life experiences with deep, open, engaging, and inquisitive conversations. You'll also be informed in depth on some of the most recent and relevant events, issues, and more. EO Talks on EO Live, your connection to Eastern Oregon, now on Roku. EO Live is your connection to Eastern Oregon. Tune in for a variety of engaging and relevant local content. See Brent and Dodsey goof and gab with local guests on EO Live's morning talk show, AM Live. Watch Dodsey on EO Live Sports to get the latest sports information and interviews with local coaches, athletes, and more. On EO Talks, we have intriguing and in-depth conversations with people from around Eastern Oregon. Master Chef Russ Gleason shares delicacies from his golden recipe book on cooking across the hall. Stay in the know about what's happening at the sheriff's office on Keeping It Clear with Cody Bowen. To stay in the loop on local arts and music events, catch the EOA Arts Update with Ricky Joe Hickey. We're available across the board, including Facebook, YouTube, Amazon Fire, and of course, our very own website, EOA.tv. We even have our own Roku channel with 24/7 live streaming content. You can also listen to our shows on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and many other popular podcast apps. EO Live, your connection to Eastern Oregon.
All right, we're on with Lori McNeil. Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Yeah, it's been a while.
It has been.
Yeah, and we intersected. How long ago has been? Has that been 8 or 10 years ago now?
Time goes by fast. It's actually been since about 2016
Okay.
when we very first met.
Yeah, and you were Mrs. Oregon?
I was Mrs. Eastern Oregon
Okay.
and then won the title, and I was Mrs. Oregon the second year.
That's right. Yeah, and Will was working for me at the time, and we kind of did a video that talked about your life.
Yeah.
That was presented at that pageant.
Yeah, at the state pageant.
Yeah, yeah. Well, awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here, and
Good to be here.
You know, it's kind of funny because we have, some of that footage of you walking through the forest and some of that stuff that you did. You know, we've used that footage from time to time. You know, I mean, we needed a clip of a teacher standing at a board, writing, and we
right.
used, so we've used some of that footage here and there as like B-roll. So you might see yourself, hey, that's me hiking, So, well, glad that you're here. So, what have you been up to since then? So
Since then, a lot of life has happened since we
Yeah.
first met.
Yeah.
I'm an international business strategist, so I've been traveling the world, helping businesses and communities thrive and re-strategize and hosting different events and working with entrepreneurs all over. And now I'm working more locally for the Chamber of Commerce, of course. My son's in high school, and it's time to be more involved with all of his activities and things before he's officially gone to college. And so that's pretty much what prompted the change to go from international to local.
Wow. Okay. And how old is your son?
My son and his grade do not match.
Right, okay,
So he's 15,
okay.
but he actually is working on his college degree at the same time. So he will finish high school at the same time he finishes his AA. So he will actually be going on to his 4-year before he's 17.
Huh. Isn't that crazy how students are able to do
It's
that?
crazy. I didn't have that option.
Right, yeah.
When I was in school. So I'm pretty proud of him. He's doing pretty amazing. He actually just got back from a national state competition that he qualified for as well. So again, he's busy with a lot of amazing things. And as
Yeah.
a mom, I'm local to be more involved in the local business
Yeah.
as well as his life.
Yeah. Well, and when I heard that you were hired, what's your position at the Chamber of Commerce? What do they call you?
I'm the operations and programs director.
Okay. And so tell me what you do. Have you figured that out yet? What you're
Yeah, well, to some degree, I'm still figuring that
Yeah.
out. It's fast moving every day, and I love it. But basically, I work with events, I work with the membership, internal operations, of course. A lot of things that go on in the community. I'm a liaison on various, committees and different things, marketing efforts. There's a lot of different aspects to programs and operations.
Yeah.
When I was hired on, they did a lot of restructuring
Yeah.
at the chamber and consolidated some previous positions and things like that. And so to some degree, this position is somewhat new because of that consolidation. And so to your point, I actually am still trying to kind of craft what that looks like a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're a small operation, so it's like, I get it, I mean, that's, you just, at some point, if the phone rings, it doesn't matter what your job is.
No.
Somebody's got to answer it, yeah.
Yep.
So, and the chamber gets a tremendous amount of walk-in traffic.
We do.
Yeah, because
We
it's
do.
the tourism, it's the desert when people are looking, what should we do in LeGrand? I mean, that's the designated place for where they're supposed to go. So-
Absolutely. So the office is open 8:30 to 4:30, and we get all kinds of people coming in. Local people that are maybe working on certain events or need help with their business, but then also people from literally all over the world. So that might have never been to Union County before, never been to Oregon before. So I have these really great conversations with people on a daily basis. And then we get people that are hosting various conventions, like the statewide Grange convention that just happened last weekend, where I helped them put together over 200 packets for people that are visiting all over the state.
Yeah.
So there's a variety of different people and different projects and different needs that walk through that door, both local and statewide and international.
Yeah. Well, let's go back because you're an Eastern Oregon kid. I mean, tell me give me your life story in a thumbnail before this point. Yeah.
My life story in a few seconds.
Yeah.
So I am from Eastern Oregon. I've bounced all over Eastern Oregon, which also what makes my position at the chamber so fun because I can help connect all kinds of dots for people
Sure.
that are wanting to stay in the area longer because I've probably lived in those communities, worked in those communities, or have a lot of experience in our neighboring communities as well.
Uh-huh.
So that's one of the things that makes it really fun. But yeah, I went to high school up at Wallowa Lake in Joseph, and so I'm familiar with Wallowa County. And I, of course, now I live in Cove, but I'm currently living in Union County. Several years ago, when we first met, I lived in Baker County. So I really am an Eastern Oregon grown kid.
Yeah. Well, and it's just such an important thing. I mean, as you know, for Eastern Oregon people, I mean, that concept of grow your own, you hope that they get trained and experienced, and then eventually they come back. I mean, and so that's certainly a win for Eastern Oregon and for us, for you to be back. So
Glad to be back.
yeah, thank you. So in your job, so what are you loving about what you're doing right now? I mean, if you could kind of circle that all down to like,
Yeah.
man, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, the thing about my personality and my skill set is that there's so many different things that I love to do, and the chamber really allows me to bring several different things together into one position, which is really fun. So I love people. I'm a people person, and so I love connecting with the people in the community and the different business leaders, and I love events. So that's one of the ways that people have been getting to know me to this point is my event announcement videos that I do every week and things like that. And I do love events. And it was shortly before we met that I actually became certified. So a lot of people don't know that I actually am a certified event management expert.
Oh, wow.
And I have been for actually about 12 years. So all of that I love to do, that I have experience in doing, I've also been able to bring to the chamber as well, as far as all the different aspects of events for my certification for that. So I love doing events. I love meeting people. I'm a systems and processes girl. I love operations. And so I am happy to be in a position that the chamber is in right now through their transition. When I was hired and everything that they're going through, to just be a part of developing a lot of new systems and processes, strengthening older systems and processes to really serve the community in the highest capacity.
Good. So tell me, kind of give me a snapshot of how you see the chamber changing, what things are adjusting, what new systems are, talk to me about that.
Yeah, so there's a variety of different things. So what we're really trying to grow the membership and use technology a little bit more in order for us to be more efficient with how we're serving the community. And that also spills over into the way that we're doing the marketing and kind of finding that balance between the print material and the online electronic stuff, because we deal with a variety of different people, different learning styles, communication modalities, all those different things. And so we have to pay attention to that and that balance between old school, if you will, and what's coming in the future and what's already here with technology. So there's a lot of shifts happening with technology in that regard. But then also just how can we better serve the community? How can we better serve the members? And so one of the conversations that I've been having more and more revolve around, what do you need? How can we help you? Not just this is our list of benefits, but is that the most beneficial for you, and what do you actually need to thrive in your business? And a lot of the conversation I'm having is that people are really needing help with just some basic marketing help. So then part of that is really shifting into, okay, what does that look like? Is that workshops? Is that conversations? Is that demonstrations? Because there's a lot of people that are really, really needing help with social media or very specific things like that. Or how can we partner with other people in the community in order to offer the actual things that people need, rather than having it be a box program of just, this is what we offer, hopefully it works for you.
Yeah.
So we're taking kind of a different approach to that.
Well, and the landscape, I mean, as you know, we're so super aware of how it's just changed, and I mean, I've watched the chamber adjust over the years. I mean, getting away from print material to digital has been something they've been working on for a long time. But now the digital landscape is so saturated that even that is, I mean, do you spend much time scrolling much or anything? I mean, it just gets exhausting after a while. And so then
the combination is really important.
Yeah.
It really is. And I have conversations with people all the time that are on both sides of the fence. I have people that say, oh no, we don't even need anything in print anymore. That's completely obsolete. And then of course the other people that are like, no, we still want to walk in the office. We still want to walk in the door and actually take a brochure or take a magazine. So I really do think, and especially for our culture and our community here, that finding that balance between the two is really, really important. Mm-hmm. We still are we're a people front-facing community. Mm-hmm. People want those relationships. They want those conversations. They want to have eyeballs and to have that connection, not necessarily just reading things on a screen or just having things in their email inbox. So one of the things that I'm working on in my role at the chamber is finding that balance that maintains what technology can do for us, but not leave the human piece and the connection that people in this community really desire.
Yeah, well, and I had a conversation with your president. It's probably been a year ago, and one of the things that I suggested is that at some point the chamber really needs to be out on the strip. Let me put it this way: the tourism part of meeting people. Baker has a really nice setup, because right there in that main drag right into Baker is their tourism center, And so you're absolutely right. For somebody walking in the office that being able to hand them, hey, this is a fun thing to do. This is where you should go, and making, I mean, that is critical. And
the conversations that lead to recommendations, people that are, especially that are not familiar with our area, I can't tell you how many people will ask me, well, what do you recommend?
Right.
What do you think? What have you actually experienced yourself? And where should we eat and where should we do? That's information that they can't get by just reading a review online in the same way that makes that connection point, that makes it real in that conversation. There's no connection. They're just hoping that that recommendation is first real and not made up.
Right.
Right, because anybody can type anything online. And two, that it's what they're looking for. Whereas when you have that conversation with somebody, you can go into that Q&A, you can have that deeper conversation to where they feel like that recommendation is truly what they're looking for.
Yeah. Well, and it is interesting because, yes, certainly if I meet you for the very first time and I say, hey, where's a great place to get a burger? Okay, and we have a half an hour. Well, I mean, that in that criteria, you can give them, you can give it, which for them to sort through that process, looking online or looking at reviews, and that's the other thing that's just radically changed is, anybody younger than I, they're going to the reviews right off. It's like, what are other people saying about this restaurant, or this place, And so,
and those are certainly helpful.
Right.
But it's that combination with
Right.
that conversation.
But certainly an in-person conversation just shortcuts all of that because I'm making a connection with you and I'm following your recommendation.
The other thing that I've noticed is that people from outside the area that are coming in, those conversations are also helpful because even though you can pull up a map and you can look at the addresses for things that maybe you're trying to figure out yourself, when you're standing in the office and you're on the main street, and they say, we only have an hour, or we only have 2 hours, we're only here for the afternoon, it's very easy for me to say, oh, well, it's just 2 blocks this way, it's 5 minutes that way, and I can help them map out their day that makes their time in Union County more efficient to where they have that visual and they understand. In a much different way than if they're just looking at a map.
Yeah. Well, I hope, and I had heard Sajid mention that there might be an effort to move the office at some place down the line, which I think, and again, I mean, let's back up just a little bit. So the Chamber of Commerce also has the responsibility of tourism.
Yes.
And those are separate pockets of money that come together under that roof, And so, and a lot of, I mean, some cities separate those things. The Chamber of Commerce does one and the tourism does another, and we've watched Baker City flip-flop back and forth, move those funds around, and they're in the process of doing that right now. So, but the location piece of tourism would be awesome if it were somewhere else other than a side street in downtown. So I hope that they can push that through at some point. So I don't know, anything else? Well, let's talk about the event that we need to talk about, and that is the
250th.
Yes, yeah.
That is a big deal. So the committee has been working very, very hard at preparing for the 250th celebration.
Yeah.
And we're excited about that. Of course, that is coming up on the 4th of July. It is at Buffalo Peak in Union. And this year, of course, being the 250th, we have all kinds of extra things planned. We're going to be kicking off the festivities at 5 o'clock. So we're having all kinds of different vendors out at the golf course this year, both food vendors and non-food vendors with crafts and goods and different things.
And that's going to be up at Buffalo Peak or downtown?
No, that is at Buffalo Peak this
Okay.
year. That is not downtown. That is at Buffalo Peak. And so we have everything that we're going to be doing on site. We have different games, different prizes, all kinds of fun things that are going to be happening between 5 and about 9:30 when the fireworks are going to start, and then special music and presentations and all kinds of fun things going on. So we're definitely making it bigger and better than ever this year. So if anyone would still like to participate in that, to be a vendor in that, to be one of our official sponsors, definitely contact the Chamber as soon as possible so we can add you to all of the official marketing and banners and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So then the big thing is, where do people park and how do they get up there? Because that is a hike. if they.
It is a little bit of a hike. We're in the process of trying to finalize some of those
Okay.
bus route schedules.
Right, okay.
But it's more than likely going to be either down at the Old West parking lot or possibly the livestock show. But we have a bus that's going to be taking people back and forth.
Good, yeah, because we've been with that event for the last 5 or 6 years, and so we've kind of watched that. Now, and in the past, this is a new event for Chamber of Commerce.
It is. This is
Yeah,
the first year.
so talk about that a little bit. What has been happening before, and why does the Chamber of Commerce have it now?
Yeah, well, I'm not exactly sure on the details before I
Yeah.
have been there because
Yeah.
I've only been there barely 4 months.
Yeah.
So I was definitely not a part of the planning prior to coming on board with the chamber. But it is my understanding that this is the very first year that they actually are taking the reins on that, which with it being the 250th, of course, that's an exciting opportunity. In the past, it has been other members, mostly Buffalo Peak, mostly other community members. And like you had alluded to, the vendors were down in town and they kind of had some things separated out. And so when the chamber took it on this year, they kind of consolidated everything in one location to try to make it kind of a one-stop shop, festivity opportunity for people to come and hang out longer, so that they didn't have to worry about transportation up there or how to
Right.
get to and from. So that's why at 5 o'clock, we're just starting everything before. So we've changed the schedule a little bit to make it hopefully easier for people to not have to worry about walking, transportation, parking, all those kind of things. And then included more people to be involved in the one location as well, instead of kind of spreading it out around the town.
Yeah. Well, and they've also had golf carts. I mean, it is a golf course, and so
Right.
they've had people shuttling up and down the hill just looking for people that might need a ride, up. And so that's always. I was at the Pendleton Roundup, those shows last week or last year, and I mean they just have golf carts that are just roving around all the time.
If somebody needs assistance, we will definitely do our best to
Yeah.
assist and make sure everyone gets to participate.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that's because once you get up there, I mean, it's a beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
It really is, and it's fun to see, and people kind of camp in different places. We'll be streaming that event. We kind of set up on what hole is that we're hole one. Yeah.
The very
And
top.
so it kind of looks out over the entire thing and catches it, and so that it's a cool event. So anything else that you want us to remind? So let's put that back up again, Bennett, that graphic. So 4th of July, can't miss the date. And the festivities start at 5. Is that what you said?
At 5, and our vendors are going to be setting up about 2 to 3 o'clock. So if anyone is interested in being a vendor, it's not too late. Contact me. The setup is going to be about 2 or 3. The actual event starts at 5. Fireworks will start about 9:30. So there's a lot of different things that we have planned within that time frame. So it's definitely something that we're trying to make family friendly and to come and hang out and celebrate for several hours and participate in a different way.
Awesome. Well, nice to have you with us today, Lori. Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
having me.
and good to connect again, and we should have coffee sometime soon. And,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
So, all right. Well, hey, we're gonna take a break, and we will be right back with Steve West.
Eastern Oregon is full of interesting people, with interesting minds and interesting things to say. Here at EO Live, we're committed to connecting you to these intriguing people with EO Talks. We let our special guests share their ideas and life experiences with deep, open, engaging, and inquisitive conversations. You'll also be informed in depth on some of the most recent and relevant events, issues, and more. EO Talks on EO Live, your connection to Eastern Oregon, now on Roku. EO Live is your connection to Eastern Oregon. Tune in for a variety of engaging and relevant local content. See Brent and Dodsey goof and gab with local guests on EO Live's morning talk show, AM Live. Watch Dodsey on EO Live Sports to get the latest sports information and interviews with local coaches, athletes, and more. On EO Talks, we have intriguing and in-depth conversations with people from around Eastern Oregon. Master Chef Russ Gleason shares delicacies from his Golden Recipe book on cooking across the hall. Stay in the know about what's happening at the Sheriff's Office on Keeping It Clear with Cody Bowen. To stay in the loop on local arts and music events, catch the EOA Arts Update with Ricky Joe Hickey. We're available across the board, including Facebook, YouTube, Amazon Fire, and of course, our very own website, EOA.tv. We even have our own Roku channel with 24/7 live streaming content. You can also listen to our shows on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and many other popular podcast apps. EO Live, your connection to Eastern Oregon.
All right, we're back with Steve West, Steve's Outdoor Adventures, and a lot of other adventures now, right? Yeah.
Life's an adventure, Brent.
Yeah. So good to see you, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've been on the show with you.
Right. Yeah. And you and I mean, we got acquainted in the early parts of my business. Yeah.
Over 20
I was
years
still working out of the house. You know.
Yeah,
at
it
that
was
time.
over 20 years ago. If I
Yeah.
remember right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy. So.
Yeah. Well, this is season 25 for Steve's Outdoor Adventures. Been around for a minute.
Yeah.
Still airing 4 times a week on Sportsman Channel.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a wild ride, long time in the outdoor space.
Yeah.
So.
And we play your episodes still.
Yeah. I actually need to get you guys another batch of, some newer episodes, some
Good.
new stuff. I'll have the boys round some up and upload them to you. We'll get you a link to download those.
That would be awesome. So,
Yeah.
well, so tell me, catch me up to date. What are you doing? Yeah.
There's a lot going on. Obviously, once again, season 25 of Steve's Outdoor Adventures got a new sponsor this year. We added Norma Precision or Norma USA. They've got a new line of hunting bullets that we're going to help promote. We're also loading them at our ammo company, Pendleton Ammunition. So got a lot of work going on there. A lot of people out there love to talk about IP-28. Are you familiar with IP-28?
And is that the
no
no animal
rodeos.
thing?
No animal. Like you won't even be able to have a mousetrap in your house or no rodeos. There's going to be so much. It's just such a ridiculous bill. So here's your shocker on that one. I want it on the ballot.
Oh, you do. So
Yeah,
that it is going to be on the ballot, right?
Well, I don't think it's certified yet. I've been
really?
told
Okay.
that. Yeah, they're still kicking signatures. They collect a lot of bad signatures. I'd like to collect a bunch of good signatures, and I want it on the ballot. I want Oregon voters to have to vote on this one.
Yeah.
A lot of people won't agree with me on that, but I'm going to tell you why. Number one, there's too many sensible people in the world. No matter what, it goes down in flames 98-2, right? I mean, but number two, there's a reason why Governor Kotek came out against it, and the Democrats are actively trying to get it off the ballot. It's the kiss of death for her on the ballot. It's because rural Oregon turns out in such low voter percentages that if
that's on there, then
if it's
a
on
lot
there,
of people-
everyone is going to turn out to vote to protect their hunting, their fishing, their ranching, their way of life. It is a way of life bill, and everyone will turn out for it. And we know how those people will vote. And when only 35 to 45% of the voters turn out to vote, which is shameful, by the way. That's voter turnout like that's shameful.
That's pathetic.
It is. It is beyond shameful. If you haven't been voting in all of these elections, shame on you. But I promise you this: if IP-28's on the bill, you're going to show up to vote. You're going to mail in your ballot, and Governor Kotek, who's a useless person sitting in that seat, she knows that she loses. And so I want IP-28 on the ballot to motivate people to do what is right, which is get out and vote and get it done.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and the proponents that put IP-28 even looking for the signatures I mean, they're just trying to make waves. They're just, it's not,
I bet he's just collecting a check. He's probably getting paid a salary from the donors and his
Yeah.
little political thing. Great. I love the guy. Get it on the ballot. Go, buddy, go. and there's so many people out there going, what is Steve saying right now? Like, seriously, I'm going to sign the petition to get it on the ballot, and I'm going to vote against it.
Yeah, no, and it's kind of, it is, I've seen social media about, you know what Oregon's people are going to vote
Oh,
on?
yeah.
I mean, it's
viral.
It already just gives us this awful, you know.
The crazy
Name.
hippie state.
Yes, yeah.
That, you have like one little part of the state that has just so many people in the weird collect there, right? And all of this stuff spawns from this one little spot. And then you come out here and we're all normal, you know, red blood Americans that
Well, and in this particular, I mean, this is part of the initiative process that is weird about, I don't know if it's in other states or not, but you have outside agencies that are funding initiatives to get them on the ballot, and you know they might not have any interest whatsoever from a groundswell in Oregon until people start getting up, like, oh, wait a minute. I mean, they market
That's
that
politics
agenda.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's politics everywhere, and that's fine. That is our democratic way. Get it on the ballot, let the people vote on it. And it's called something like the Peace Act or something. It's like, where did they come up with that title? That's baloney, because everybody's going to mark yes for peace.
Right.
Everyone better read the ballot when it comes out and make sure they understand you're not voting for peace. You're voting to ruin our way of life in Oregon.
Yeah.
And a rural Oregon way of life. And better yet, if you live in Portland, there's mice in Portland. You won't be setting mouse traps. You won't be going to the Pendleton Roundup. Could you imagine rodeo being illegal in Oregon? And the most legendary of legendary rodeos, the Roundup,
Yeah.
isn't able to be held in Pendleton, Oregon at the Roundup grounds anymore. Did you imagine all of that?
Well,
No,
no.
it's ridiculous. It would never pass. It has no chance of passing, but we want it on the ballot.
Right. But the agenda, I mean, we've watched this before, and that is, it's just we get it on the ballot once, and then people start thinking about it. And then, you know, we do it again, and we do it again. I mean, it's just this erosion of, I mean, that's the agenda. That's how it works.
Yeah,
So-
it's that a bill like that has no chance of ever passing. No. Too many people. Even though we say the world has lost common sense, there's too many people with common sense that
Right.
will win the day.
Yeah.
So,
Well, okay. Well, so tell me what else is going on.
you know, probably the biggest thing that is happening at the moment is what and it's a hot button topic for a lot of people. We're pursuing the mine application again, the Ponderosa. We call it Ponderosa Mine, or the Robs Hill Quarry. But I approached this far different than prior ownership did, the people who were running the applications in the past. First and foremost, the very first application that was ever submitted was basically kicked because it was an incomplete application. It was a horrible application. The people who are leading that effort should have never been hired to begin with, is a joke. And there was too much, you know, just not enough good information out there, which allowed a lot of misinformation to go out. And then the second time around, they hired a different firm. That firm did a horrible job.
Now, and who is they?
I say they, so the firms that were hired, like the legal firms that were hired to put together the applications.
Okay.
And one of the things that wasn't done was you have to do a certain amount of like drilling for core samples. Let's study how much rock is there? How good is the rock that's up there? You can't just go get a mining permit and say, oh, we're going to mine it and figure it out later. No, you got to know, is that rock high quality ballast rock? Does it have absorbency rates that meet ODOT spec, or better yet, railroad spec? Mm-hmm. How much of it is there? Like right now, we're drilling our last boring up there, and it's like a 400 or 500 foot boring that goes down. And as you drill down with this and you pull the core samples out, you get to map what are the thicknesses of ballast rock. There's some stuff called like pillow, and then there's like other forms of rock that go through these layers over the millions of years of the history of Earth, right? And when it's all said and done, we're going to be able to create, we're hoping, a 3D animation of where is the rock, how can you properly mine the site, create a mine site plan, things of that nature. But more than anything, we're going to know what's there before we ever even make the application. Now, 2 years ago, we drilled 3 test holes, and we hit incredible rock that met way beyond ODOT spec, and some of it met railroad spec for absorbency, which was awesome because the railroad's right there, and we have the perfect location for a rail spur. And ballast rock is in the highest of demand. So it's something that I want to pursue. I promised Jim Smackle before he passed, my longtime friend, that I would make it happen. I would get it done. And, and now as I fulfill the obligation to purchase the Ponderosa Ranch, take on the Ponderosa Mine, and do this, I've done so with a complete 180 from all prior efforts. Public transparency and outreach has been my priority. Going out and asking the questions, hey, what are your concerns? The amount of misinformation that was allowed to come out 6 years ago and stay in the public mind is mind-boggling. The conversations I've had made me wonder where it came from because it's that bad of information. But the only people that should be, I guess looked at for that is us. I shouldn't say us, but the people who are leading those projects. We should have had Q&A sessions. We should have been putting facts out there, but they kind of had a 1960s, 70s mentality of, oh, we'll just make application, the public won't find out. Internet and social media put the word out like that, and then that's how misinformation goes. And there's so many people out there now that just believe every meme they see, that everything that's on the internet is true. No, it's not, and so the ability to go out there with like a good public information campaign, question and answer sessions is critical, in my opinion, to the success of the project. So that's what I'm working on now.
So let's zoom out just a little bit. So where is the mine rock quarry,
Sure.
and what's the difference between a mine and a rock quarry?
Same.
Okay.
It's the same. It's a mining. It's basically aggregate mining. And so when you leave La Grande on I-84 heading west, and you enter the canyon, as soon as you make the corner, it's the mountainside on the right.
Okay.
And it is, it's just an open, bald rock hillside.
Okay.
The railroad tracks are at the bottom, on the right-hand side, or the north side of the interstate, and then the mountainside goes up from there. It's just a mountain of rock. Now, when we put this all together years ago, I had certain requirements for the project. Number one, I wanted to protect the viewscape of the city of La Grande. At no point in time have I ever allowed any mapping to be done where the viewscape, that ridge that you can see from town, would ever be crested or broken. The mine boundary is on the west side of that. So from the city of La Grande, you'll never be able to see it. The folks who live in Perry, there's a great big ridge that runs up on that side. From nowhere in the city of Perry can you see the mine project. Okay, so the viewscape has been protected, and for less than a handful of seconds going east or west on I-84 will you be able to see the project site in any way, shape, or form. And I've mandated the people who are doing the site planning to move the berming up so that we build a big wall for visual limitation. We don't want people to have to look at this. I don't want it to look like lime. I want it to look good, berm it up, hydroseed it, put trees and grass or whatever up there, but make it visually appealing. But that berming also blocks sound. You're not going to be able to hear it. No one in La Grande is going to hear it, any crushing or anything like that. People in Perry won't be able to hear it. Dust mitigation studies are being done. Sound studies are being done. Actually, the sound studies are already done. Surface water, all the studies have either been done or are being done. I just had no one. Actually, I'd been invited to a kind of a Facebook private group to answer some questions on it. And someone who lived in Perry actually hit me with a great question. She sent me an article about Crick County, Oregon, and a quarry there that actually had like a water contamination issue. I didn't reply to that other than, hey, I think this is different. But you know what? Immediately, I reached out to our geologist and I was like, listen, here's the article. I want to know, am I going to contaminate anybody's water? Are we going to damage people's lives? He went up to the site. He looked. He was like, no. Perry is in a different aquifer further to the west. There's a big canyon in the middle, a ridge. It's a different aquifer. It doesn't impact them in any way, shape, or form. I said, well, what about downstream? He said, ODOT and Rogers Asphalt, Hamptons, have their quarries on that side. And if anybody was going to have already contaminated someone, it would have been them. He said, you're a no issue with risk there. So I literally went to my expert the minute someone brought me a valid question. I don't want to call it a concern, but I guess a concern, but more long as a question. Hey, are you going to contaminate our water? I was like, no, I want to know. So, so I tried to take those steps.
So why is this important? I mean, is this just a private adventure?
Yep, private venture.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But it supplies, look, the world is built on ballast rock.
Right, and so talk about that, because
Yeah.
a lot of people do not understand the significance.
You drive on it every day.
Right,
The
but they
trains
don't-
run
but-
on it
but they
every
don't
day.
get that,
Buildings
yeah.
are built on it every day. The world does not build without rock.
Okay.
Okay? And good rock is hard to find. And good rock on a rail spur is really hard to find.
Sure.
This is the perfect location for logistics, for supplying massive quantities of rock to the world.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, when you're on rail, you're not supplying LeGrand. This isn't a local need.
Right.
This is, you're working on I-84 at the Dalles. You're working on I-5 at Medford. You're Southern California, British Columbia.
Yeah.
The railroad can take it there, and the railroad needs great ballast rock, and we have that rock. Now, we're going to conduct more testing. All these core samples that are coming, we want to make sure that we've got great testing, absorbency rates, quality of rock is important, and that will dictate a lot.
Yeah.
So,
So what benefits do you hope will come to the community from this?
well, number one, think about this. Right now, it's timber and grazing. Was it $100, $200 a year in like tax revenue from property taxes to Union County?
Yeah.
Change that to a rock quarry with an unbelievable amount of rock in there. The valuation and classification on it changes. The tax benefit, the tax revenue to Union County of a rock quarry in that location,
So explain that more.
I don't know
for
the
people who
dollar
don't
amount.
understand.
Someone would have to come up and put that valuation on it, right? That's above my pay grade.
Right.
But when it changes classification and it becomes a high value commercial location,
Right.
you're talking about tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands. I don't know.
Right.
But it's way more than it is now. And in a world where we're looking for more revenue for our municipalities, whether it's a city, a county, a state, rather than raising someone else's taxes, you change the classification on this property. It's worth a lot more money. It generates a lot of tax revenue. Those are the things that pay for roads, road maintenance, your county road maintenance, good Lord, there's so much that the county needs money for that's ridiculous.
Right, right.
These things don't happen for free. So,
Right. So the person that you mentioned that passed, and you said, I really want to get, why was that important to him to get done? Why is it
Jim
important?
Smackle?
Yeah.
Look, it's not lost on anybody that there's also financial gain here for myself, and the past ownership and whatnot. It's part of the purchasing of the land and all of that stuff. But it was kind of a legacy project. This is something that we worked on for a long time, and it was important to Jim on a personal level to finish what he started.
And Jim owned...
He owned the Ponderosa, Water Canyon, several ranches, properties throughout the state. He was a very successful man when it came to acquiring land. He was a dear friend of mine, a hunting buddy, mentor, a great timber man. He understood how to grow timber, log timber, and manage timberlands exceptionally well. He's a great mentor to me, and it's a big reason why the Ponderosa looks the way it does today, because he coached me or influenced my timberland management efforts up there. and we took a property that was overlogged, scraped bare, left just, oh man, it was horrible. And now when we go up there with people, like, oh my God, look at the spacing and the timber, look at the wildlife, look at, you know, that didn't happen on its own. Mother Nature didn't just say, hey, let's just grow some trees there. No, we went in and thinned and cleaned up the landscape and took the old piles that were left behind by the loggers that had raped the landscape for so many decades, and we cleaned it up. And now, like this past weekend, Sheriff Bone's daughter had her wedding up there. It was beautiful. The timber landscape behind the wedding, you know, it was perfect spacing. Everything was beautiful. Like, to go in and do all that work, it's also not free. This land doesn't just come to us and say, here, this is yours, it's free.
Right, yeah.
No, it costs millions of dollars to buy the land. It costs millions more to own it and maintain it. You don't just let it go.
Yeah.
You have to take care of it,
Yeah.
you know. And so this rock, you know, one of the things that I think gets left out of this conversation is that I feel like our wild spaces need to be protected, okay? Like, very much so, our wild places need to be protected. And the deal that has been struck is that in order to satisfy the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife and their desire to, you know, protect landscapes, is that, number one, for the 250-acre rock quarry site, we will do 250 acres of habitat mitigation work. We fenced out a riparian area. That was 50 acres. We did 200 acres of thinning, and then I did hundreds of more acres of thinning. The amount of mitigation work we did to satisfy the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, unmatched. And I've agreed to put the Ponderosa Ranch in a conservation easement so that it will be protected in perpetuity forever. Can never be broken up and subdivided. No wind towers, no power lines, you know, nothing. Like, it cannot be destroyed. We can still properly manage and harvest timber. If we want to, we can graze it. We can do the proper land management and land use things, but the mountain will never be broken up and subdivided. You won't see homes all over that part of the mountain. You won't see commercial development on that part of the mountain. And that is once again, that doesn't come free. This rock quarry, this permit, allows us to pay off the ranch, put it in the conservation easement, and fund it in a trust so that it is protected forever.
How much acreage is on the ranch up there?
So it's like just under it's 4,998 acres. The rock quarry is on a 274 acre parcel that will be broken off from that.
Okay.
With a 250 acre mining site inside of that. And then that leaves a little over 4,700 acres that falls, a large part of it falls in the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife critical winter range overlay for elk and mule deer. And that's why it's so important that we protect it.
Okay. Yeah, and that was where I was getting to, was this, so why is that important to the public, that stays whole?
Well, but not just for that reason. So, like I said, oh yeah, you guys have all the elk up. We don't have all that. When we manage our wildlife properly on the Ponderosa Ranch, all the animals in the world can't live there. It spills over. My neighbor, Jim Voles, great job of thinning, taking care of his land. More wildlife. Who borders us? U.S. Forest Service borders us. MIRA borders us, okay? What we do as private landowners for land management and wildlife management spills over onto the publicly owned lands around us. A lot of times that public land, through no fault of our local, let's say, forest managers, more along the lines of like bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. and the limitations that are placed on them by their higher ups, those public lands are not always properly managed. So good private land management will allow the benefits of that to spill over onto the public lands where the general public has hundreds of thousands of acres locally to access and recreate, hunting, fishing, hiking, camping, everything.
Yeah. All right. Well, it sounds like you have a handful of stuff going on.
Oh, I keep a lot going on. One last thing.
Yeah.
So in as part of this, I guess, transparency, right? I want to keep the public informed We launched a website called robshillquarry.com.
Okay.
I'm doing dailies on there as often as I can. Hey, this is what we're doing today. Like the month of June, we've been drilling core sample. People are calling me saying, there's a drill rig on the mountain. Are you guys getting ready to blast? No, we're not getting ready to blast. We're just drilling core samples and we're filling the holes. But we're going to update that. We're going to put up question and answer stuff up there. When our application is ready to be submitted, we're going to put a copy of it up there for the entire public to see. We're going to put all the studies up there in like PDF format. You can download it, read it. If someone shows up to the application review by the county planners and says, I didn't know about this, it's because they didn't go to the website. We're going to do our best to put the word out there that, hey, you can go to robshillquarry.com and you can see a lot of stuff. Additionally, on that website, there's an email address and a phone number, and people can actually send me an email or give us a call or drop me a text message asking questions. I'll have one-on-one sit-down sessions with anybody and have the conversations. Because once again, there is a lot of really, really, really bad misinformation out there. And when people actually get the facts, they're like, oh, I didn't realize that. I have had very few people leave a conversation with me going, oh, I'm going to oppose that, Corey. No, they actually have a more open mind after the conversation.
I'm not finding the website.
Rob's Hill, ROBBS.
Oh, there's 2 B's. That's why.
Yeah, 2 B's, buddy.
That's right.
Yeah, robshillquarry.com. But we're just trying to be very transparent and get good information out there, factual information out there.
Good. All right. Well, Steve, thanks. I appreciate the conversation and always the friendship over the years. We'll have you come back, and maybe when we get closer to the fall, you can come back and talk about.
I'll have some good fall plans by then. Right now, my plans are a little bit up in the air because
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a few draws to come out.
Yeah.
I did get a pretty good tag here in Oregon this year. I'm eager to go on. It's going to blow everybody away where I blew my 27 elk preference points this year. To draw a tag I could get with 1 point. Yeah. Blew them all just for fun.
Wow.
But I'm excited about that hunt. Maybe the hunt that I'm most excited about this year.
Wow.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, guys, for having me. I appreciate your time this morning.
Yep.
Yeah, you bet. You want to get us out of here?
Let's do it. On this day, June 25th, 1867, the first barbed wire is patented by Lucian Smith of Ohio. Lucian's an interesting name. You don't see that anymore. 1876, Battle of the Little Bighorn. U.S. 7th Cavalry under Major General George Armstrong Custer is wiped out by Sioux and Cheyenne warriors, led by Chiefs Crazy Horse and Sitting Bull in what becomes known as Custer's Last Stand.
I feel like Custer sometimes on this Rob's Hill Quarry deal.
1950, North Korea invades South Korea, beginning the Korean War on this day. 2021, new species of ancient human is announced after finding a massive fossilized skull, the Homo longi dragon man from northeast China. 2024, China's Chang'e 6 mission is the first to return samples from the far side of the moon, landing in its Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region, which is what we're about to do in, I think, 6 years. I think there's one more trip to the moon, a preparation trip, and then they're going to go land on the far side of the moon. The #1 song in America on this day, 25 years ago, Lady Marmalade by Christina Aguilera, Lil' Kim, Pink, and Maya. And the quote of the day comes from Marcus Tullius Cicero. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all the others. One more time. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all the others.
Hey, one other event, June 25th, 2011, Walla Walla, Washington. 15 years ago, Dave married my wife. Happy anniversary, Jody.
There you go. And I put your wedding video together.
Yes, you did.
So, all right. Hey, thanks you guys for being here. Appreciate it. We'll see you soon.